Hello, I'm very excited to be making this video. If anyone can guess what this is based on this picture, you earn bonus points as I zoom out. Yes, this is a complete collection of every full art card from the XY era, starting with the XY base set on the left. So this is in a BCW 12 pocket Z folio, again my favorite binder. Every card is double sleeved, inspected to be in near mint condition, which is how I like these collections. I will flip through the pages as I describe a little bit more about why I went after this and why it took so long to buy these cards. I first got back into Pokemon around maybe it was 2015 or 16 or 17 with the release of one of these XY sets. I think the first pack I got was from like Flash Flyer, so maybe the second set, or sorry, Flash Fire, yeah, the second set, or Furious Fist, the third set. And when I discovered the full art cards, I was hooked. I just loved how these looked, the texture. At the time, I wasn't as much a fan of the Megas, but I've since come to love them with the Japanese lettering on there. But the full art nature, the texture of them really appealed to me, and was part of the reason I got back into collecting Pokemon all those years ago. So I resolved to get one of every full art card from the XY era, including the subsets like Generations and the promos, which we'll get to, and the alternate arts, which were essentially promos, this evolutions, promos. A lot of the promos are not textured, but still wanted all of them for the collection to be complete. So I did a bunch of investigating and figuring out exactly how many cards would be needed for this collection, and the total number was, it ends over here, 177. I had a bunch of these you might have seen in earlier videos of my binders, just from collecting over time, cards that I liked, but I had to get over 100 more, which took a lot of time. I bought these primarily through tcgplayer.com, which is a great resource. However, not all sellers are created equal. I'll flip back to the beginning and go through this more slowly. Some people send their cards without top loaders. Some people send them with just a stamp and they get lost. Some people send them in horrible condition, even though they're listed as near mint and you have to return them. It took a long, long time to get the right cards. So primarily TCG Player, some eBay. Some returns involved, and patient waiting. I'll go through every card here just slowly so you can appreciate them and point out some of my favorites. The Venusaur, Blastoise, definitely some of my favorites. Yveltal, I have a lot of favorites just in the first set out of these 6, and Xerneas. Xerneas and Yveltal being the flagship Pokemon. That's set 1, the XY base set. Then comes set 2, Flashfire, Charizard, of course. And I think this one had, 7, so one more full art. They started doing the full art trainers with that set. I know full art cards, the textured ones, start in the black-white era, which I've not collected. Maybe not yet. Maybe I will someday. Here's Furious Fist, Lucario, one of my favorites. So cool, that pose. And Dragonite, also one of my favorites. And you can see even coming through the 2 layers of sleeve in the binder cover, there's the texture there. And that's it for Furious Fists. Then set 4, Phantom Forces, the Skangar, one of the most expensive ones to get, and hardest for me to find in good condition. I think that's part of the problem with collecting Pokemon ungraded. I like them ungraded for these binders, is any card that's in decent condition, someone will get graded. And I'm not looking for crazy good condition here, like PSA 7-ish, maybe 8 is good enough for what I would put in a double sleeve in a binder. Oh, this Dialga Secret Rare, also one of the most expensive ones. I didn't collect every Secret Rare, only the ones that were full art. There are a bunch of non-full art Secret Rares, like the Trainers, and the earlier cards with the gold borders. So that was set 4, Phantom Forces. Now we get into set 5, Primal Clash, where they just decide to go ham on the number of full arts. There are a lot more here. This Kyogre, one of my favorites as well. Just the water splashing. Some of these just look so amazing. Primal Kyogre, then this Groudon, I love too. Primal Groudon, Sharpedo. A lot of full arts in this set. Primal Clash. And then we get into the first special set. This was the Double Crisis set. These are not textured, but I love them nonetheless. In general, if you know me, you know any Pokemon card with the trainers as part of it generally appeals to me. I collected a lot of the Trainer Gallery sets. So these 2 were the ultra rares from Primal Clash, which you could only get in these special blister packs. Then we get into Roaring Skies, which was, I think, the first Pokemon set I ever bought a booster box of, just to open it, just for fun. So Thundurus, I think, is super, super cool. But at the time, the chase card was Shaman, which we will get to. I didn't get a Shaman in that box. I was pretty disappointed. But I got some other cool stuff, including this Rayquaza. I got no, not that one. I think I got this Rayquaza and the non-full art version of this. But I love the full art version of this. One of my favorite Pokemon cards ever. There's a lot going on there, but somehow the busyness just works. And then Shaman. At the time, a chase card. Now, not worth so much. Wally. And that's it for Roaring Skies. Then on to my favorite set. One of them, Ancient Origins. There's so many full arts I love from Ancient Origins, so Kyurem EX, one of them. I also bought a booster box of this set, but I actually kept it sealed and ended up selling it. Ampharos, one of my favorite Pokemon, so I love that. This Hoopa EX I think looks amazing. It's like the complete form of Hoopa. This Machamp I think looks amazing. Tyranitar, one of my favorite Pokemon. Mega Tyranitar. Giratina, I love this full art. And this Lugia, just one of my favorite cards ever. Lugia is my favorite Pokemon. And this full art is amazing. And a few more. And Ancient Origins also had these bonus cards, the secret rares, that were reprints of these two from Primal Clash and this one from Roaring Skies, but slightly different. They had different abilities over here because these were the Shining Primal forms. So Shining Primal Kyogre, Shining Primal Groudon, and Shining Mega Rayquaza with a different ability. You can see the black Rayquaza shining there. Then onto Breakthrough. I love Houndoom, also one of my favorite Pokemon. I had this card before in Mega Houndoom. I'm also pretty bullish on these because they haven't remade Mega Pokemon. And so I guess there might be, the next generation has them, I forget the rumor or something. But so far, these are the only Mega cards ever created. And so I think I'm bullish on these cards appreciating, because if you want Mega Pokemon, you have to go back to the XY era to get them. Two of my favorite cards, Mega Mewtwo EX. It's the X form, and Mega Mewtwo EX. The Y form, that's Psychic. This one's Psychic and Fighting in the game. And I love these two because I played the Pokemon game, the trading card game, online at the time, and I had different Mewtwo decks. I had this in a Mewtwo deck, and I had this in a Mewtwo deck. And then this was the first one that had the full art secret rares. So Breakthrough was the first set that had the Break Pokemon. I'm not collecting those, I don't love them, but the full art secret rares with multiple Pokemon appearing in them. So I love that Mewtwo EX and that Mewtwo EX. Then we've got Red Gyarados, so I guess technically a Shining Pokemon, and Mega Red Gyarados. Manaphy, Espeon. Obviously love this card as well. Darkrai. I went to a pre-release event for this set, Breakpoint. Love Scizor, Mega Scizor, and this Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh, also one of my favorite Pokemon, along with Lugia. And so this rainbow full art Ho-Oh I think looks amazing. So at this pre-release event, I think I opened a Mega Scizor and traded it for a Ho-Oh because I wanted this Pokemon so much. That was the only pre-release event I've ever been to. And the secret rare from that set. Then we had the Generations set. These two were not EX Pokemon, but still just textured full arts. I love the Zapdos in particular with the storm in the background. I remember opening one of those collection boxes of Generations, which was the only way you could get it, and I wanted this card the most, and I got it. And I was so happy. And I also got the Mega Charizard, which at the time was worth a lot, and I think I sold it to make up for the cost of buying that. And then this was I think, what do they call this? The Radiant subset or something? So these are all non-textured full arts, but that Flareon, love it with the 3 Eevee evolutions. This Pikachu, Pylon Pikachu, I love that one too. And then I think they overdid it with Gardevoir in the XY area. There's 3 different versions of like Gardevoir EX in 3 different sets. Okay, and then we move on to Fates Collide, which didn't have the break in its name, but was still one of those break sets with the break Pokemon. So we have Glaceon, Alakazam EX, and Mega Alakazam EX. So again, like when's the next time they're going to make a Mega Alakazam EX, you know? Unless they bring back Megas into the game. And one of the best ones, of course, Umbreon EX. Part of what I loved about the full arts of this era was not only the texture, which again, I think they introduced in black and white, but just the background. So the backgrounds on these, it's not like the GX era in Sun and Moon, which I didn't like because it was just a solid color. This has, the background is textured and has different patterns in it. So even going back to the Umbreon, like in the Sun and Moon era, this would just be, I think it's like a solid blue background for the full art Umbreon GX. But here you have some kind of like rainbow, black, red, pink thing going on. And I think they just nailed these backgrounds, which makes the Pokemon pop even more. And I love the secret rare, the Alakazam, which has not only an Umbreon, but also a secret Lugia in the background. Then Steam Siege, another break set, so Volcanion. I love that Volcanion. I love the Steelix. Mega Steelix. Too many Gardevoirs, more Gardevoirs. But this set introduced the double type Pokemon, so there's like this Mega Steelix had 2 types. I think the Volcanion had 2 types. Mega Gardevoir, 2 types. Also, sorry for the jittering around. I'm trying something new and just recording this handheld with my phone, which is easier than a whole setup with a camera. And I think the quality on the phone is actually higher quality than my very old camcorder at this point. Professor Sycamore. And then the secret rare, which has a Xerneas in the background. Now we get on to Evolutions. Oh no, another secret rare from Steam Siege. There were 2. Then Evolutions. So the Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard, Mega Blastoise. Mewtwo, I love that Mewtwo. Pidgeot, Mega Pidgeot, and another Dragonite. So cool with the gold For some reason, these had gold borders. Now we get on to the promos. So these were in some collection boxes that I actually bought at the time. The Legendary Collection with the Pikachu EX and the Legendary Collection with the Hoopa EX. I love those boxes. I loved how they looked. I opened up all the cards, opened up all the packs, and it had a bunch of these different promo legendary Pokemon. Actually, I'll go back because I love this Reshiram. So these were not textured, sadly, which I don't like as much, but I think that Reshiram looks amazing. The Palkia, I love the ones with the cartoony style. The Zekrom. And so these have each other in a lot of the backgrounds, you can see, if you can piece them together. I love that one too. Black Kyurem, White Kyurem, Regigigas, and Arceus. Then, these were part of the way they released Pokemon Generations in these blister packs, or little collection boxes with a different promo each time it was a mythical Pokemon. So every mythical Pokemon got its own promo for one of those. So I'm starting with Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Raffi. And more over here. And then after that, the next promo full arts after Meloetta were from the Generations collection boxes. There's one, I think I bought this box with Charizard, so that's the original one I opened. And I bought each of these at the time because I love that style of having multiple Pokemon in the background. This Pikachu, the evil-looking Pikachu. And then this Mewtwo and Mew were other promos that came in. I think it was like this Mega box or whatever, the Ultra Premium, the first time they did one of those. And then the last two promos for some collection box they threw out there at the end. I think I bought one of these at BJ's one time and made a video about it, if you go look way back in the channel. Now we get into the alternate arts. So alternate art today means something a little bit different. This just meant that they would reprint a card that already existed, this time with a different art in full art. And a lot of these were from this big collection box called the XY collection box that I did buy at the time. So there's an alternate art of N, which is actually from the Black-White era, but even though he's from Black-White, I included in this collection because they reprinted him in the XY era. And then so alternates of a lot of these other Pokemon that were previously released, but if it was a full art, I collected it for this Connect collection. And I love the Shaman. It's in the style of a secret rare full art with the shining Mega Rayquaza in the background. On to the last page. I love the Zygarde in the full form. This one was hard to find. I forgot that this one existed, and to move everything over one in my binder, I actually had to do that multiple points. But if you notice that I'm missing any other full arts from XY, let me know so I can complete the collection, or don't let me know, because oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to track down that card and then move everything over in the binder. But no, it'll be worth it. And love this one too. Secret Rare Eviltal, but could easily be Xerneas. And then Karen, one of my favorite trainers, because the first game I played was Pokemon Silver, and Karen was part of the Elite Four with the Dark-type Pokemon that were new. And the very last card, Mega Sharpedo EX. So hopefully you enjoyed this tour. I'll do a quick flip through. Back to the XY era, each set in order. Part of what I like in this binder is just seeing all the cards next to each other, how the order sort of goes. Because as far as I can tell, there's no existing list of all these cards. Most people are collecting either just the ones they like, or every card in the set, but this is every full art specifically, and only in order of when they were released, with the exception being the promos. I didn't put those in between the sets. I put all the promos over here at the end, with the alternate ones at the very back. As a quick bonus, something totally non-Pokemon related, just want to show off actually, one last purchase I made recently. The Neopets TCG, made another video about it. I love it, you should check out that video if you're interested. But I bought a sealed booster box of the rarest set in the Neopets TCG, the Darkest Fairy. This is the only one that I saw on eBay, and I made a deal with the seller, keeping this sealed. I'm going to get one of those acrylic cases to cover it in. But the Neopets TCG, the old WotC game with the very niche following, is heating up right now because they made a totally new, different game released by Upper Deck called the Neopets Battle Dome TCG. It looks pretty cool to me. I like some of the art, but not nearly as much as the original WotC one, and the gameplay does not look nearly as cool. So I'm still bullish on the original Neopets TCG. All right, thank you for watching.